All right, we're on to number 12 here. It says find the exact circumference of the circle. Um, let's see here. Find the exact circumference of a circle, and it gives you this. Look right here. It says 12 millimeters. We know that this is a square. It says all the sides are congruent. We have a 90-degree right here. So we know that this portion, we know that this is going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which means that this is 12 millimeters, that's 12 millimeters, and that's 12 times the square root of 2 millimeters. So we know that our diameter is 12 times the square root of 2 millimeters. And if we want to find the circumference of that, we just multiply it by pi. So we take diameter times pi to find that. So it's 12 pi times the square root of 2 millimeters. That is our circumference. All right, number 13 is change 7 pi 4 over 4 to degree measure. So it's the same thing as this setup right here. We want degrees over 360. We have 7 pi over 4 radians over 2 pi. So we're going to multiply both sides here. And 7 times 360 divided by 4 is going to give me 630 pi. So we have 630 pi, that's what this is, times 2 pi x. And we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. And we're going to get 315 is equal to x. So 315 degrees. Number 14. Number 14 has a big circle on it. 14, and it says all sorts of stuff. It says that, it says that, and it says that, and then it says A, B, C, D, E, and F. All right. Now it wants to know what arc DC is. Find arc DC. Great. Let's do that. Let's see. It says that CFD and DFE are congruent. Great. It says that BFA, measure of angle BFA, is 7x. It says that measure of angle AFE is 5x plus 12. 5x plus 12. And then B and E, or BE and AC are diameters. So that means vertical angles must apply. So this must also be 5x plus 12. And these two combined must be 7x, or each of these must be 3.5x. All right. Okay, so let's find DC here. First, we need to find, we know that there are 360 degrees in this whole thing. We need to add them all together and then find DC. So we're going to do that to find X and then multiply X times 3.5 to find DC. Okay, here we go. So we have 7X plus 5X plus 12 plus 5X plus 12 plus 3.5x plus 3.5x. All right. You didn't have to do that. You could have left it as 7x. Okay, so let's add all this up, and this should equal 360 degrees. So we're going to go with, let's see, 7x plus 7x is 14, plus 10 more x is 24x. So 24x plus 24 is going to equal 360. Subtract 24 on both sides. So 360 minus 24. 360 minus 24 is going to be 336. And that is going to equal 24x. Divide by 24 on both sides. And we get 14. That is not the end of the process. We need to multiply it by this guy. So 14 times 3.5. And that's going to give us 49. So this is 49. The measure of arc DC is equal to that. I'll write it better. Measure of arc DC is equal to 49. All right, number 15. Number 15 says find x all by itself. Find x. We know that this picture here, we know that this is 90 degrees. We know that this is 2x degrees. And we know that this angle inside here is 30 degrees. We know that 30 degrees is equal to 1/2 times 90 minus 2x, right? Let me pause real quick and look up there. Yep, that is true. So 1/2. We know this one's the bigger one because this one's closer to the internal angle. So we know 30 equals 1/2 times 90 minus 2x. So we're going to distribute here, and we're going to get 30 is equal to 45 minus x. We're going to subtract 45 on both sides. And we're going to get negative 15 is equal to negative x. Multiply the whole thing by negative 1 and get 15 is equal to x. All right. Where is it? Number 16. Number 16 says find the measure of the numbered angle. Find the measure of the numbered angle. We know that those have to be vertical angles, right? So number 16, I'm going to do it over here, is 15. 16, we have this going on, 60 degrees. We know 50 degrees right here, and we need to know this angle right here. Well, man. All right. Sorry about that. This is the measure, or this is the angle we're trying to find. Now, it doesn't land on the center of the circle. We don't know that to be true. It's just off kind of on the side. So we know that these two added together divided by 2 gives us this angle, which has to be the same as this angle. We know that there's 360 degrees in this circle, so that's what we're going to use here. Okay. So this angle plus this one is going to give me 50 plus 60 is going to give me 110. Divided by 2 is going to give me 55. So I know that this is 55 degrees. I know that this is 55 degrees. And I know that this whole thing must equal 360. And these two must be the same. So 360 minus that 110, or these two combined, is going to give me 250. Divided by 2, because there's 2 of these angles, is going to give me 125 degrees. So measure of angle 6 is equal to 125 degrees. Number 17. Number 17, we have this circle right here, 17. We have that. We have this. We have that. And it says that this is 10. And then this whole thing is 220 degrees. And it wants to know, what is it asking? Find the measure of the numbered angle. So it wants to know this angle right here. Well, we know from our notes about, what is it called? Inscribed angles. Inscribed angles. We know that is going to be, that angle is going to be 1/2 of this arc right here. You know, this angle is going to be 1/2 of this arc. We use the whole idea of there being 360 degrees in a circle to find this arc. So what's going to give us, so 360 minus 220 is going to leave us with 140. So that arc must be 140 degrees. We're going to divide that by 2 to find out that measure of angle 10 is going to give us 70 degrees. All right, number 18. Number 18 says, use circle D, okay? Use circle D, this is number 18. And then it says, blah, blah. It says this is E, that is C, This is B. That should be the center of the circle. D, and that is A. All right. Name a radius. Okay, there are two. We're going to say radius AD and radius BD, or you could say AD and DB, or DA and DB, whatever you want. Just those two portions right there. So let's say line segment AD, this is our radius, and line segment DB. To name a chord, we know that a chord goes from one side to the other side and it doesn't go through the center because we call that a diameter. So this is a chord right here, CB. And name a secant. A secant is a line that goes through the circle twice. So the only secant is going to be BC, but a line segment, or CB, whatever you want to call it. And then it says name a tangent, which is going to be this one up here, which is CE, or line CE. All right, number 19. Number 19 says, in circle C, CL is equal to CM. Okay. In circle C, number 19, we got this business going on. SMT, we have XLY, and we know that these are two right angles. All right, we know that CL and CM are congruent. We know that XY is going to be 5x plus 8, and we know ST is going to be 15x minus 32. Find XL. It just wants to know this portion right here. Well, we know that this is a special segment here. We know that because these two lines are congruent and they end up in 90 degrees, we know that these two chords must be equal to one another. So we can say 5x plus 8 is equal to 15x minus 32. We're going to solve by subtracting 5x and adding 32 to both sides. And then we get, 40 is equal to 10x, or getting ahead of myself, x is equal to 4. We plug it back in here and then divide by 2 because we know this is going to be the midpoint right here. We know this is breaking it into two different portions. So we say 4 times 5 is going to give us 20. So 5 times 4 plus 8 is going to give us 28. Divided by 2 is going to give us 14. So that is our answer. How long is measure of XL? No, just XL equals 14. All right. Find X. Poor X. Okay. This is a tangent and a secant. So we get this right here. We know that that is X. We know this is 8. We know this is 10. So this is the whole times the outside is equal to the whole times the outside, or just x squared. So x, the whole thing is x times the outside, which is x. So x times x is x squared, must be equal to the whole thing, which is 18, times the outside, which is 8. So we know 18 times 8 is going to give us 144, which is a nice perfect square. And we do the square root of the whole thing to find that x is equal to 12. All right, number 21. Number 21 wants to find the value of y and z. All right, we know that that opposite angles have to be equal to 180, right? Opposite angles have to be equal to 180. So let's see, we have circle. This is number 21 here. That was 20. We have this little shape in here, and then it says z. Opposite z is 75, and then opposite y is 110. We know that y plus 110 must equal 180, so y is equal to 70. And we know that